Welcome back. You are still watching A Morning Live. The 2019 South African Literary Awards nominees have been announced. 26 authors in 13 award categories have been listed for this year's awards. Themed Africa Writing in Tongues towards social, political heritage and cultural justice is in line with UNESCO's International Year of Indigenous Languages. Now, the awards are now in their 14th year and they've become the most prestigious and respected literary accolades in the South African literary landscape. Now, the awards have also expanded its categories to include children's and youth literature categories, a move that will encourage acknowledgement of writers writing for children. While to talk about this, we are joined by one of the nominees, Lebohang Masango, who is nominated for the Children's Literature Award category. It's great to have you on Morning Live. Thank you so much for coming.
Morning, Pearl. It's wonderful to be here this morning.
Let's start about your love for words, your love for books, and when you started writing.
I've always loved words, always loved books. You could always find me at the school library, both in primary school and high school, and I was always just captured by the way that writing and words allow our imaginations to, go wild. And so that love is what has always stayed with me throughout my entire life. So even though I'm an anthropologist, while working on my master's degree, I decided to just try a different kind of writing. And so that led me to trying to write a children's book. And luckily it has been received well.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of respect generally for people who write for kids, because you've got to understand how a child's mind works. What are some of the things that interest children? What are some of the things that children could learn from while having fun?
Yes.
How did you strike that, I don't want to say balance, but the luck or the knowing of what would children find interesting enough to read?
So my book, Bumi's Magic Beads, is about 3 little schoolgirls, and so I thought to myself, how are school children in Johannesburg specifically experiencing the city? Because Joburg is always spoken about as a place, that is dangerous, that is grimy, but however, people still live here, people still have entire lives here, and so there must be some kind of joy, right? And so I thought about these 3 little schoolgirls and what they would find fun about the city. So Bumi has magic beads in her hair, and they actually take her and her friends, Asante and Siamo, on adventures all over the city. They go to Joburg Zoo, they go to the planetarium, they go to Gold Reef City, and these are spaces where children can have fun but can also learn a lot. And so that's what I wanted to highlight, that there are all kinds of interesting spaces for children, but also the book rhymes. So that's a way I hope that I've connected with readers in a way of attracting them with the rhyme as well. It's also translated into all the 11 South African languages, so I'm hoping that all children have access to the work.
That's brilliant. So you're nominated for the Children's Literature Award category. Congratulations. And what does this nomination mean for you as a writer? Do you feel that it is a good acknowledgement, especially in writing for children's books or children, because it's not always been a space that has been celebrated?
Yes, it feels it's an incredible affirmation. It means the world to me to know that my first children's book that I initially self-published, and I tried my hardest to do really well, has been given this kind of recognition, because the South African Literary Awards are, of course, the biggest literary awards in the country. They're nationwide. And so to be recognized, just the nomination for me is really overwhelming, and I'm very excited.
Lebo, you're very invested in children and children loving words. You also host these literary sessions where you tell stories to children or read for children. Where does this passion come from for wanting to expand so much what children can do when it comes to words?
Well, when I think about growing up and watching SABC and Umam telling stories, right? Like that was such a wonderful time in, I suppose, all of our childhoods. And so I was so attracted and drawn to the way in which she gave us these new worlds simply through her words. And so I wanted to attempt to do the same thing in my own way. I wanted to be able to gift children with the magic of storytelling, because if you think about it, everything we do in our lives involves stories. Everything we do involves reading and writing, and I wanted to be able to show children in my own way that this can be an expansive and interesting thing to do with your life. So I'm always hoping that they walk away from the sessions not only with a love for the book, but also with a great love for what stories can do.
Oh, Lebo, thank you so much. We're going to have to leave it there. But before I let you go, is there another book in the pipeline that we can look out for?
Yes, there is another book in the pipeline. I've actually got a collaboration coming up with the WITS Center for Deaf Studies, so that's going to be a very interesting collaboration. There's also going to be a follow-up to Mpumi's Magic Beads, of course. Yeah, many other things.
No, Lebo, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, and thank you for your love of words and your love of books, making our world better through our young children. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
As Lebohang Masango talking to us about the SA Literary Awards and the words that she generally does to help children get a better sense of their world through storytelling. We're going to take a quick break. Do stay with us.